Okay, Assalamualaikum and hello. In 7.3, we're going to look at solutions of trigonometric equations. Okay, which means we're going to solve equations that involves trigonometry, lah, sine, cos, tangent, and so on. Right, so we'll look at simple ones first, which is linear trigonometric equations. Okay, so number 9. Find the value of theta. So if theta is between 0 and 360 degrees, for the equation sine theta equals to 1 over 2. Okay. To solve these types of equations, we're going to use LARCA. So this is a kita panggil acronym lah kan. Tak silap, acronym. Okay. So L untuk linear, A acute, range, quadrant, and then find the answer lah. So short form dia LARCA. Okay. We'll use this technique lah, acronym. Senang to come solve trigo equations. Okay, so first linear. So for example, equation ni kan, sin theta equals to 1 over 2. So linear means in the form of sine, cos, or tangent. Okay, itu maksud linear. So for example, kamu ada equation sine squared theta equals to 1 over 2. Kamu nak solve, you have to make it linear first lah. Okay, sine squared is not linear. Okay, linear means equation tu mesti dalam bentuk sine, cos, tangent. And mesti sine, cos, tangent lah. Cannot be sine squared, cannot be tan h, and so on. Right, so this is linear. So kalau kata equation ni sine theta equals 1 over 2, it's already in linear form. Okay, dah betul linear sebab sine theta, sine saja. Right, next, acute. Okay, so acute here means you're looking for the alpha. Acute, A untuk acute atau alpha lah basically. Okay, you're looking for the reference angle. Alpha equals to, okay, the formula is, kamu solve lah situ sin theta equals to 1 over 2 kan. So arcsine of 1 over 2. Tekan calculator. Okay, and you will get 30 degrees. Okay, so just take note untuk second step alpha or acute ni, when you're looking for the reference angle kan, make sure you only take the positive value. So contohnya kamu solve sin theta equals to negative 1 over 2. Kat sini reference angle kamu ambil arcsine 1 over 2. Mesti positive. Because we are using it just for the reference. Okay, so make sure the positive lah. Basically modulus lah. Okay, you have to modulus. Okay, next, range. Right, so range kamu refer soalan. Okay, soalan minta theta is from 0 to 360. So you just copy it. Theta is between 0 degrees and 360 degrees. Okay, so ini L, ini A, ini R. Okay, and then Q. Q is for quadrant. Right, so untuk step quadrant, kamu kena hafal dulu lah ini. Kita ada first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, and fourth quadrant. Okay, and each respective quadrants, there are certain values yang positive. Okay, if you look at the graph lah kan, sine, cos, tangent tu. So for example, dekat first quadrant, everything is positive. Sine, cos, tangent semua positive. Okay, dekat second quadrant, only sine is positive. Dekat second quadrant, tangent dengan cos negative. Okay, third quadrant, tangent saja positive. And at the fourth quadrant, last kali C, only cos is positive. Okay, so kita kau boleh buat acronym lah, ASTC kan. Lepas ni aku buat acronym sendiri. Okay, so kamu tengok ASTC, and at the quadrant kamu tengok your equation lah. Okay, so kamu tengok sini sine and sin theta equals to 1 over 2, positive. So you refer your quadrant dekat mana sine positive. So dekat first quadrant and dekat second quadrant. So kita buat line dekat first quadrant and second quadrant. Okay, these two lines. And then what you do is, this is theta. This is your alpha. Sorry, alpha. Right, alpha kita calculate dekat second step tadi tu. Okay, and your alpha must be between the x-axis dengan line yang kau buat lah. Alright. So right now you try to solve for theta. Okay, this is your step Q, and then last kali answer. Okay, so you try to solve for theta kan. Tadi kamu calculate alpha, ini reference angle. Okay, theta, the answer for theta must be between the positive x-axis dengan line yang kau buat tu. So for example, kita ada 2 answer lah kat sini. Satu answer sini, satu answer sini kan. Okay. So theta is between the positive x-axis dengan line ni, which means alpha lah. So theta akan equals to alpha dulu. Okay. So for the second answer, okay, theta is between the positive x-axis sampai ke line tu, which means this is theta. Okay, so how do you get theta? Kamu akan ambil 180 degrees. Kamu tahu this is 180 degrees kan? Half of a circle. 180 degrees minus alpha lah. Kamu akan dapat theta tu. 180 degrees minus alpha. So 180 degrees minus alpha. Okay, so you should get your 2 answers. So alpha tadi kamu 30 degrees. And 180 minus 30 degrees. So kamu akan dapat answers are 30 degrees and 150 degrees. Okay. So what you are doing, apa kita buat dekat larka ni basically, kamu cari semua jawapan yang possible, the possible answers lah kan. Kalau kamu masukkan dalam calculator sin 30, kamu akan dapat 1/2. Kamu masukkan sin 150, kamu akan dapat 1/2. Okay. So for example lah, kalau kita sketch sin, kamu tahu basic shape of sin macam ni. Okay, power maximum 1, negative 1 kan. So you try to look for the values yang sin ni akan jadi 1/2. So 1/2 di mana? 1/2 di sini. This is 1/2. So there are 2 values lah kamu tengok kat graph dia. Satu dekat sini, satu dekat sini. So tadi kan kamu dapat 2 jawapan. Get 2 answers, 30 degrees and 150 degrees. So inilah jawapan dia. Ini 30 degrees, ini 150 degrees. Sebab range your domain yang kamu the answer gave us kan, kita nak value of theta between 0 and 360. So ini 0, ini 360 degrees lah. Kalau kita sambung lagi, dekat adalah jawapan lagi. Alright, so itulah larka. So we try to look for the answers. Kalau kamu tengok graph, kamu akan faham. Alright. So now, untuk B. Okay, so B kita nak solve. Tangent theta equals to 1/3. Okay, step dia sama je. First, linear. Make sure dia linear. And kamu tengok linear dalam bentuk sine, cos or tangent. And the equation is already in tangent form kan. So ini dah linear lah. Right? We don't have to do anything. Next. Okay, untuk alpha I cube. So alpha equals to arctangent 1/3. Just make sure kamu modulus lah. Okay, before you enter the calculator. Okay, so same, dia akan bagi 30 degrees. Range sama juga, kamu tak soalan, refer to the question. Soalan minta theta between 0 and 360 degrees. Okay, and then Q is for quadrant, so do your 4 quadrants. Okay, A, S, T, C. Okay, our equation now is tangent and the equation is positive. Okay, tangent, positive. So dekat third quadrant dengan first quadrant, tangent positive. So sini satu line, sini satu line. Okay, which means ini alpha, this is alpha. Okay, so now your answer, theta is, okay, untuk first quadrant, kamu ambil alpha terus, you already know. First quadrant akan ada pada alpha. Okay, so dekat third quadrant, kamu tahu this is 180 degrees kan? And your answer must be between positive axis sampai sini. Which means 180 plus alpha lah. 180 degrees plus alpha. Okay, so your answer will be 30 degrees alpha and 210 degrees. Okay, so these two angles akan bagilah jawapan, will give you the answer 1/3 kalau kamu masukkan dalam